What's good, everybody? This is the Black Hole Gaming League. I'm your host. It's your boy Mag. Joining with me is none other than the owner of the league, No One. This is the Week 7 recap. No One, you want to dive into it?
I haven't been called no one in a minute. That threw me off. Uh, okay, yeah, my voice works. All right, we good. But no, just talk about a couple topics for week 7. We can start it off with game of the week, possible contenders, possible non-contenders. Personally speaking, I think Sonder versus Oasis was probably the game of the week. Granted, some time torching happened, but it was probably the closest game we've had in a couple of weeks, and a comeback by Sonder nonetheless.
It was a very good game, my opinion. There was a lot of trash talk in the match chats leading up to this game. It was a very exciting game to watch. And Sonder did their thing. It was very close. Oasis went up 5-3, I believe, and Sonder was able to pull it back and win in overtime.
They won, I think, 3 in a row to clutch overtime. It was a toxic game, though. I am not. I mean,
It
granted,
it
Oasis had a
was.
right to be mad.
Bodies were
I
being
mean,
shot.
a tactical timeout followed by a rehost back to back, body shot, karate chop. Um, so that would be the game of the week, I would say. Let's see what player of the week, possible contenders. Who do we say? Was it
Uh,
was it well, Flu's popped off. I do know that. Flu and a carrying. Oh no, we can't count that 'cause he played Blood Ravens.
it was W Silo. He did a whopping
W Silo,
15
yep.
and 5.
That was a battle of the donuts though. The 0 and the 2, or the 0 and 5 and 0 and 16. The battle of the donuts. I mean, yeah, we had some good ones. I mean, yeah, I think it was W. Well, God, what the hell you say? W Silo.
W
Okay.
Silo, yeah.
And Flu did actually pretty good. Flu and Giovanni on um NLG and pizza with pineapple. That's a interesting name. I'd like to see how they came up with that. Yeah, you got any ideas?
No, yeah, you covered all of them.
Pizza with pineapple. I was talking
Pizza
about
with
that. How they came
pineapple.
up with the
Oh,
name.
I mean,
They just,
it's it,
meme
it's a
meme
touchy
name.
it's a touchy subject, you know.
It is. It's very controversial.
A
All
lot of
right, so
people.
let's get into the real questions here. All right, as we going into the final week, who are we seeing as our number one seed so far?
Number one seeds. Well, I gotta give it to 5.2 for the red division and OVO EXO for the blue division. Both teams just showing dominance. I believe it was OVO EXO to give 5.2 their only loss. So it's gonna
Mm,
be interesting to see these two clash in playoffs, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
oh yeah. Now, so funnily enough, Ovo's is that how you say it? OVOXO? Or is it? I don't know.
That's what I've been calling them. That's
Okay,
what
whatever. I was just say
Drake in the
Ovo, but
weekend.
yeah. But I'm gonna just pretty much say like their only loss was to Deity, and they kind of got dominated. That was, I think, the first game, was it not?
I
I think that
honestly
was
cannot remember. Um,
because I was like, well, I remember I saw it and I was like, okay, well maybe they're not quite the house I saw. And then as the seasons went on, they've just really kind of locked it in. And I mean, they gave 5.2 their only loss, or yeah, their only loss, and 5.2 kind of choked that game as well. But they did just dog walk Nova, really, really bad, really bad. I think
well,
it was
there is a key player that Nova has on there now that sometimes whenever they start losing, he brings the morale down. He starts trash talking. I don't want to name drop or anything like that,
oh,
but
don't do my boy like that.
I've played with him before. I've played against teams with him on them before, and whenever they lose, I just hear he gets negative, and it's not a good time to be around.
Oh, but not to mention though, Ovo has a tough game coming up this week. Or for the finish off week 7, we still got one more game. We got F2 and Ovo, and that could go.
That's gonna be a good one. We've seen a
It,
dominant performance from F2, from the short time they've been in Black Hole League.
I mean, they seem kind of inconsistent, but when they're on, and that's what's going to be the kicker here. Are they going to be on? I think isn't it tonight? Oh shit, it's tonight, ain't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tonight. Let me go see. Let me check the
Yeah,
chat. Chat.
that game's in 30 minutes
30
actually. I'm
minutes.
supposed to
Oh.
be casting it. Oh Lord. Chat,
Oh,
make
we
sure
gonna.
you tune in for the F2 OVO game.
Yeah, we almost forgot about that. I might can help cast.
We could low
Um,
key just like run it into this, you know?
oh no, that make this long as hell.
We
Okay, well
wanna.
let's get down to the points. We can just start over, take a little break because I'm probably gonna eat after this or make my food and then eat and stream.
No, that's
But all
fair. That's
right,
fair.
yeah, let's get into the teams pushing for possible playoff contention. So we got the standings, and it's pretty obvious in the red division. You're gonna see 5.2. YN and Prime seem to be the most obvious as of right now. 6-1, 5-2, 5-2. How Prime is 5-2? Don't ask me. I think, but here down once we get to the lowers, Oasis and Sonder are gonna be battling it out. I don't.
It,
They might knock Nova out though, because Nova
it's gonna
has.
be interesting to see what Sonder can do because, like you said earlier, they from the games that they have played, they've been looking dominant. You know, I've mentioned it in their game whenever they were playing against Oasis. They have only played games 3v5s, and we've seen a dominant performance against the Blood Ravens, but then again, it is Blood Ravens, and it's exciting to see them play with a full right roster, and I think they
Hmm.
do have potential to not only knock Oasis out, but knock Nova too.
So the interesting, the interesting matchup here is gonna be Oasis and Nova play. So if Oasis loses, they're possibly out, and that'll be big because Oasis has been very dominant here lately. But Sonder is also going to have a doubleheader next week because they're a game behind. They're going to face Nova and Blam. So ironically, they're probably going to steamwalk Blam Clan. And no, they don't play Nova. They play Blam and YN. YN and Sonder should be a relatively good game. And if Sonder wins out both games, I'm pretty sure looking at it, they're making it. Really, it's going to depend on Oasis. But if it comes to a tie, Sonder beat Oasis. Well, Random's still in there, so Random has a slight chance, but they play week 8? Red Division's just got decent teams, huh? Forfeits
Yeah,
and stuff.
they do.
Who does Random play? They play Prime. That might knock them out. I ain't gonna lie. All right, but let's go to the Blue Division where it's looking a little tougher on playoff contention. All right, Ovo clearly making it. Even if they lose the rest of the season, like one game, they're still making it.
Yeah,
PWP, they're making it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they do got a decent game. They got a tough game. They actually play it. They actually play each other next week. So
that's gonna be a good one.
that might, yeah, that should be a good one. Taliban coming in at 5-2. You know, they've had a pretty strong run. Like I'll say, every game I've watched, unbiased since we just picked them up, but every game I've watched for them, they have seemed to get better, and they move like you can look at their game. There's like most of their games, most of their players seem to be pretty close stat wise and points wise. Like it
And
doesn't.
honestly, you seen it in this week's game versus AOT. They came in and for a game that I thought AOT was gonna dominate most of it, it it was looking like an upset, and Taliban really showed their dominance and what they're capable of, and I'm excited to see them not only make the playoffs, but see if they can go all the way.
Well, if you also look at the scoreboard of that game, everybody on Taliban is relatively close. There wasn't really a standout player, and if you watch the game, they moved as a unit most of the entirety of the game. Like
You're
they
not
were in,
wrong.
yeah, that was a pretty good game. I hoped AOT could have locked in and we could have got an overtime out of that. But now this is where we start to get iffy. Okay, so those are the top three. All right, red division kind of has a clear 4 to 5 that's gonna make it. Blue, we got NLG 4-3 right now. I mean, no bias, but y'all gonna make it?
Honestly, probably not. We have
Y'all got
a very tough
ooh,
matchup this week.
y'all
We
got
play
Taliban.
Taliban. Yeah, the team of the hour, and yeah, honestly, I just don't see us winning that game. So it really depends on who is that if AOT wins this next game, because if they do, they're for sure gonna knock us out.
Well, then, okay, so yeah, here's the slugfest right here. AOT, F2, Blam, Blood Ravens, and NLG. They're all kind of 4-3, 3-3, 3-4, 3-4, 3-4. So relatively, we're gonna have a weird standing if any of these teams win. So F2 tonight needs a win,
Yeah,
but if they don't win tonight, they need the win next week, and they face Nova. Nova has the doubleheader. They got the doubleheader too, because they're a game behind. They play Oasis and F2, so Nova has got a tough schedule. But yeah, so Blue Division, they got the last 2 to 3 spots are going to be a slugfest. Personally thinking, I think it's going to be OVO, PWP, Taliban, AOT, F2, and I think NLG will squeeze that last spot. I
it,
mean, because I don't think you're going to beat Taliban, so you can put Taliban up at 6-2.
yeah. I'm very disappointed we didn't see a whole lot from Double O Voltage this season. They did come in late, and I think they're one of those teams that could make the playoffs.
Oh yeah, they definitely they picked up a better roster. I'll give them that. They got pickles on there, my boy. All right, so do we have any okay, well, let's continue on with the playoffs. Do we have any possible underdogs you could see coming in and surprising us?
Well, in the red division, I definitely got to give it to Sonder. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like we've been saying the whole stream, they've been looking strong, and they definitely have the potential to make something happen and surprise everybody.
On the red, I would definitely say I'd say Sonder. Like they might not make the playoffs. It's still in the air, but I will say after forfeiting and playing 3v5s, as I say, they have won every game since they had, I guess, a crappy team rep is what they say. He would never tell them about the games. I think he's still on the team. He just wasn't a great rep. But ever since they got the new rep, they've been there and they've pretty much steamrolled.
I can't agree.
So I would definitely say for Red Division Sonder, and then if Sonder doesn't make it, I'll say Oasis. I mean they've lost I think to just the really good teams are the only ones they've lost to. I do believe I think they lost to 5.2 and Ovo I think are two of their losses. So I mean they really haven't done bad. And Sonder,
Oasis is one of those teams with very high potential. Players like Chill Guy Project and Irreversible, they come through every week and they dominate the games that I watch, and they're very exciting players to watch, you know?
mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Blue Division underdogs. I mean, this is gonna be a tough one because I see a couple. I mean, granted, they don't look like an underdog,
And
but
they
to
do
me,
not. But
Taliban.
in terms of standings, I gotta give it to Ruthless. Ruthless, one of
They
those
disbanded.
teams. Oh, well,
Yeah, you don't remember they
chalk that,
ran
chat.
them. Yeah, chalk that. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. But I was gonna say Taliban.
Well,
Like,
I wouldn't necessarily call them underdogs. They're
That's why
sitting
I said
pretty
I wouldn't
high
call them
in
an
the
underdog.
in the standings, and
They're sitting high, but we, I mean that's a fair point because they do got some gunners. So okay, well, yeah, I guess you really can't say that because they really haven't struggled a whole lot. Um,
I'll give my vote to F2. F2 coming in, they're very dominant team from the games that I've seen. What team did they beat? I think they beat teams like
AOT.
AOT was one of them, yes, and there was another one. I can't remember off the
Did
top
they
of my
beat
head.
Pizza with Pineapple?
I believe so.
It was one of them or one of the KO teams. Because Deity's lost 3 times. They lost to Taliban dominated Deity. I do know that. But yeah, I'd say if we were to choose true underdogs, like I'd say AOT or F2. AOT started really strong. I don't really know what's gotten into them a whole lot. I mean, is it Effie? I've talked to him a little bit and gotten some things, but I was like, if they can get their stuff back together, I think they'd be a good underdog. And then F2 has some OGs on it, man. I mean, Big Sting ain't no joke.
He's not. He's not.
Him and what's dude's name? What's his name? The other guy that's on the team, is it DCAG?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they ain't no joke. So I mean, you can't really count them out. So I'd say yeah, those are pretty good underdog choices. We got 2 per division: Sonder, Oasis, F2, and AOT. All of them are borderline potential. All right, so what we got next? Okay, who you got? Prediction for the championship game. What 2 teams you got?
For the championship, I can easily see 5.2 versus OVO, but that's an obvious one. A hot take that I would like to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's hear it, chat.
I would like to see either from the blue division, Taliban or Pizza with Pineapples versus YN. That's my take, chat. Hate it or love it. I would love to see that game in the championship.
So I'm kind of 1-1. I would like to see Taliban versus Ovo, or like YM versus Ovo, YM versus Taliban. We've seen Deity win it before. We don't want to see the same team win it over and over. But they did just pull some shady stuff. You know,
Of
did
of
change
course. Yeah,
change
you
the
got to remember
roster.
that OVO is the old deity team.
Mm-hmm. But you know, that's why I said Deity. Also, they weren't gonna change the roster, but I guess since they lost to Prime last or this week, they decided to bring in their more stacked squad that they changed to. And there's really nothing, you know, it is what it is. But you know that I can't. I might say they could possibly be in it again. So we'll have to see there. But I would like to see YN, Taliban, Ovo. Yeah, I mean Gaggio. I think that's how you say it. He's a pretty chill dude that I've seen. But seeing YN would be pretty cool. I mean, they got some good chemistry. Taliban's got great chemistry. Ovo's just got some gunners. I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right, and to wrap this up because it's getting close to game time.
Oh
What
wait,
are
wait,
your hold on?
NLG. Seeing NLG, that would be crazy. Okay, now what?
Now I will say the NOG does have the potential, but they have a lot of stuff that they need to work on. They overswing, they miss drone. I feel like they get too confident whenever they're up and they start throwing bodies. There's a lot of things that'll play into NLG that will cost them that championship spot and possibly that
Touche.
playoff spot. That's
Oh,
just my take on it.
I think y'all slide in there. I think you slide in there. Now after that, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be
Oh
dog
yeah.
fights.
Oh yeah.
All right, now
But
what was you asking?
to wrap this up, we are in the final week. What are your games to look out for this coming up week?
Ooh, personally, I mean, I think we got a lot of good matchups this week. 5.2 and Deity. That's gonna be, but this is Deity's new roster. And 5.2, they're just ranked players now. Like, I mean, granted, they do got like the top three, top 10 console champs, but console ranked isn't comp. So
Exactly.
you don't know how that's gonna go. And Deity's new roster are tourney winners and whatnot. All right, we also got YN versus Sonder, the underdogs versus YN, who's been sitting pretty chill, seeming to get through most of their games without too much of a struggle. I mean, they have a body throwing issue too. You watch their games, they'll have several 5v3s that end into 1v1s or 2v1s, and it's like, Sonder might take advantage of that. We got F2 versus Nova. Shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't, well, if Nova performs like they did against 5.2, who knows? But who's gonna be the biggest loser? Voltage or Blood Ravens? Can Blood Ravens actually win a game without a forfeit win? That's gonna be the question of the week. Can they do it without a forfeit win? This will be the team. Them or Ruthless Academy would be the team to the Blood Ravens to beat.
I think honestly, if Ruthless Academy does not forfeit, I think Ruthless Academy versus AOT is going to be a good game. Of course, I do believe that AOT is going to come out on top, but I would like to see what Ruthless Academy can do. I haven't seen much from them this season.
I don't know if they're gonna rebrand or he's gonna move elsewhere. The Andrew, the rep, but I just think it's gonna come down to an experience game, and AOT's got. I mean, Effie is well known as far as I've seen, and because I think the team is it's just like a. Just I don't even know if they're all. I don't know if their loyalty lies with AOT. I know Effie's on another team. It's just something he kind of does for Logi.
Yeah.
But I think it's just gonna come down to experience is gonna easily win it. But we'll see. And I guess that concludes the first successful weekly recap without the game volume being too loud, minus the smoke detector, and
Chill, 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 chill.
me sitting there talking to a loading screen without recording.
And
That's
like
all
I
I
said,
got.
chat, we do have a game in about 10 minutes. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be a banger of a game. And yeah, we're going to be there.
All right. Toodaloo. God